Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Women Making Herstory series. I am your host today, Nancy Matthews, one of the founders of Women's Prosperity Network, and we are bringing you 31 bite-sized interviews of 31 visionary women. And today you are going to absolutely fall in love with the woman I'm about to introduce you to. I met her recently and was blown away, not just by the level of experience and expertise that she has, or even her dedication to work with people and make sure that they get their messages out to the world. All of that is extraordinary. And underneath it all is the beautiful heart of my guest today, Susan Shatzer. Welcome, Susan.
Hi, Nancy. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm so grateful for that beautiful introduction. Yeah, when I met you at that summit, it was immediately like, yeah, we've known each other for lifetimes, and now we're just like reconnecting.
Yes, that's exactly what it feels like.
Like sorority sisters, you know? You just know.
You just know. And I suspect that just about every woman watching this series gets that feeling, because we're all women making herstory together for the betterment of our world, our families, and all those pieces. So I'm delighted. I'm so lucky that this is my job. You know, how cool is that?
Yeah, like being so grateful that we're in service. Like we have a platform to be able to highlight, spotlight, and provide a different possibility for women like all over the world. Like,
yes.
How lucky are we?
I know, right? Again, another thing we have in common. So let me share with our viewers a little bit about your background, and then we'll continue the conversation. So Susan Shatzer is a 10-time, get that, 10-time #1 international best-selling author and consciousness revolutionary. She runs an extremely successful energetic coaching business, is a single mom, and has a mission to launch your visibility into mass consciousness. She's the executive producer and host of the global TV series Unlocking Your Limitless Life, which is featured on all 7 continents, 90+ networks, and can be accessed on any smart device from anywhere in the world at any time. Susan's vision is, she says, now is the time to have transformational leaders, heart-centered entrepreneurs, change makers, and teachers of higher consciousness to own the airwaves. And we're doing it, baby, right now. I love it. So, Susan, share a little bit. You know, I always find it interesting with each of my guests. You know, we all grow up maybe thinking we're going to have some type of career, and then life takes an unexpected turn, at least in my experience with most people I talk to. There's some unexpected turn that actually brings us to our purpose. What was that for you?
Yeah, well, thank you. And yeah, it was one of those moments where my life just totally turned upside down, backwards, inverted, reverse. And 8 months after my son was born, I was diagnosed with a chronic illness. And it was one of those situations where you don't actually get better from this. Like it's progressive, and you're actually like supposed to get worse. So good news is I actually am better. And at the time I realized I was in an abusive marriage. My closest family lived, 8 states away, and here I have a newborn, and they are calling me into the hospital to get chemo and steroids. And I'm thinking,
goodness.
Yeah, I'm still breastfeeding. Like this is like not actually like what I planned for. Like, going to the hospital is like not on my to-do list for today.
Yeah.
We're going to have to I'll let you know when I could get there. It was like, I had like total denial of the whole thing. Like it was one of those just amazing things that it changed, because there was all this judgment, Nancy, that went into his dad walked, before he turned 2. So, it didn't last very long. And it was one of those things where it was like deadbeat dad, and where's the in sickness and in health until death do you part, and you're leaving her, with, a toddler, and, all this kind of stuff. And it was like the month before I was getting infused again. And it was just all of this, and it was just so heavy, and it was just so negative. And literally it took me a little bit of time to go through the anger, rage, fury, hate, blame, shame, regret, guilt. Yeah, all of those things.
Yeah, yeah.
That we tend to roll through. And then I actually asked a question. I was like, okay, so what's right about this that I'm not getting? And that question was the thing that actually brought me to where I am today, because I was willing to be an allowance for him for choosing what worked for him.
Mm-hmm.
This is my son's dad.
This
And
is big. I really want our viewers to get this. Repeat the question you asked, because I suspect there's someone watching this right now who's going through a difficult time, a challenging time, and feeling anger and grief. And, you know, life throws us curveballs. So what was the question you asked that set you free?
yeah, I asked, what is right about this that I'm not getting?
Mm.
And I just let that sit there, and the awarenesses that started coming in, it was like, holy cow, like I'm not in an abusive situation because he left. You know, I get to parent the way I truly, you know, loved and knew, you know, that how I would like to parent, and because he's not here. And my son and I have a relationship that we wouldn't be able to have, like really close mother-son, that we wouldn't be able to have if he was here. So
Yes.
it was one of those things where I was like, all of a sudden my gratitude and my gratefulness like far exceeds any of those other, and they were low vibrational energies, the blame, shame, regret, guilt, anger, all of that. And because that was part of my frequency, I was continuing to attract more of that into my life, because like attracts like here on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And when I asked the question and all of that energy shifted, I was like, you know what? I am so thankful. In fact, in some of my books, I thank him in the acknowledgement section, because that was a gift to me,
Yeah.
and it was not a wrongness. So that's the key to the global TV series. It's like hidden inside your biggest problem truly is your greatest possibility.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, and it reminds me of a cliche that I can remember for a long, long time, which is hindsight is 2020. When we look back, we have 2020 vision. Like in the midst of the garbage and the crap, I've been through times in my life, you know, where I got laid off from a job, or, you know, got let go, or my marriage didn't work out. In the midst of the turmoil, I didn't feel like it was for my highest good. But in hindsight, in looking back, I could see, you know, if I didn't leave that job, I wouldn't be here today interviewing people. So what advice would you have for someone who's in the midst of something like that to be able to create that shift in perspective?
Yeah, this is what I coach with energetically with people. Like literally every single problem you have, you created. And it's not happening to you. It's your point of view. So there's a point of view that we have, Nancy, that is actually creating our reality. So if we're willing to take a look at what our point of view is that's holding that in place, then we can move from, you know, everything's happening to me, the victim, into like, wait a minute, I created that. And I can tell you story after story after story. In fact, I have an amazing one with my son, where, you know, they created a most horrific experience, something that is off the charts, something that, you know, medical people have never seen, you know, the law, you know, the lawyers, they've never heard of such a thing ever happening to like a child or an adult. And literally it was their brilliance. They created that because, and that's where it is, because whatever it was that was right about it that they weren't getting. So in my son's case, he would have this horrific experience, and he was able to never have to be in my in-laws, his aunts and grandfathers on his father's side, house presence ever again. And it was one of those things that was like, it was a game changer. It was one of those things where you just cannot even imagine the gripping effect that it had on me. And the quicker that we can shift from, oh my God, this isn't working for me. And when it's not working for you, that's where you have a chance to ask the question, what's right about it that you're not getting? Like, what's the value of it? Because there is something that's right about it that you're not getting. And, just to like throw this out there, but we have Amber Alert here in Florida. I know, Nancy, you and I are both in Florida. The Amber Alert. Well, Amber, right, was a girl who was abducted and then, in a car, like traveled across the entire like United States before she was like, killed. And had there been notifications on the highway as to the vehicle she was in, she may have been saved. So that actually prompted her mom to create the Amber Alert. And now we're saving like kids all the time. And then we even have the Silver Alert for elderly people who get lost kind of along the way. So it's like, what's right about Amber's death that we're not getting? Well, it actually created a different possibility for kids moving forward in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And it's these things that we were never taught. We were never taught to ask questions. We were always taught, Nancy, to go to conclusion. Well, that's wrong. That's bad. That's terrible. That's horrible. That's whatever it happens to be.
Wow. So big aha for me in this moment. We were never taught to ask questions. We were taught to get to conclusion.
Yeah.
And isn't it fascinating if we go back? I believe all the answers are always in nature. So taking that, what you just shared, we're taught to get to conclusions. Going back to the little 2-year-old and 3-year-old, all they do is ask questions. Why, how come, why? And then, somewhere along the way that gets shut down. And now we open it again.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up. Because literally at 2, the why question is where children are more aware than we are.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the filters put in place yet. That's where we start to put the filters in. We start to invoke and perpetrate on them our points of view, what's right, what's wrong, the polarity, the duality that we have here on the planet. And the kids are asking like, why is that the way it is? Because they know that there's a different possibility that the adults are not willing to look at. They're not willing to acknowledge, and they're not willing to choose. And therefore they want to know why. Like, why is it that way? How come?
Mm-hmm.
And so when kids ask you that, like maybe take a look at it and follow through on that thought. Be like, okay, so like why is that the way it is? What if we've been doing it that way because everybody else has been doing it that way because our parents learned it from their parents, and it doesn't actually apply anymore. The kids want to know why we live in insanity.
Yeah. And you know what? It's really about allowing curiosity and interest to lead the way. Which
it's nurturing that.
It's nurturing that. And I'm going to do a real quick aside to show this example. I have 3 grandchildren, 12, 5, and 3. And I had them over my house, and the 5-year-old started like poking my arm and noticed that my arm was jiggly. And he doesn't have a jiggly arm, right? So he's jiggling and he's giggling just because it's funny to him. And this is so crazy. The 12-year-old says, "Why are little kids so inappropriate?" And I paused and I said, well, you know what? It's not that he's inappropriate. He just thinks it's funny. And actually it is kind of funny, right? I said, he hasn't been taught that it's wrong to have extra fat on your arms, or that, he hasn't been conditioned into these conclusions and judgments. And my 12-year-old goes, wow, I never really thought of it like that. So look at, even at the age of 12, how we've already programmed certain things, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, so
after.
Yeah. Anyway, so now I walk around jiggling my fat. Let's talk about your TV show and your mission and vision for what that is achieving already and where you want it to go.
Yeah, thank you, Nancy. So the TV show really has been like a gift to me. Like I feel like I'm in service, because really so many of us have been like the best kept secrets of our friends and our communities. And now's the time. Like the planet's ready, the people are ready, the energy, the frequency, the consciousness, the awareness on the planet is ready to receive more. Mm-hmm. And we're it. This is what we're here to bring forth. And so much of our stuff is we don't have control over the content. Like for YouTube, I know like for us, like where do we host most of our videos and movies and shows and stuff? It's like Facebook or YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And quite a few of my friends had like lost everything. Like everything just got shut down and they were put in like Facebook jail for a while. And it's like, you know, we think there's something wrong with your account. And so we have to check it out and you can't have access to it for like 2 weeks or all that kind of stuff. And I was thinking, you know, there's a reason why there's not like a phone number to call up Facebook and go, okay, look, I have a problem with my account. Can you help me with this? And you can't call up YouTube and go, you know, I see that like all my videos are gone. Like what happened? Yeah, there's a reason why that's not available to us. So this is taking back control of the content. So we own it. We have it out there. It's digital media. It is all over the place. We launch you into mass consciousness. The people who have been on the show have literally booked people into their programs sitting in the airport when someone said to them, you know, what do you do? And she says, oh, let me show you. And she pulls up her TV show because we have an app on the phone and hands it to the woman. And, you know, 5 minutes later, the woman's like, yep, I'm hiring you. Yep. Okay, here's my credit card. How do I get on your books? How do we do this? She was like, wow, like, I don't think I'll ever carry a business card ever again because now she has her own digital business card on her phone.
A TV show that's in 7 continents, 90 plus. Yeah. Awesome.
Like there was one of our guests was in a bar in a foreign country and he said to the bartender, is that a smart TV? And the bartender said, well, yes, it is. And he says, okay, well, will you put this on? So he has his TV shows playing in the bar in this foreign country, right? Nancy, it was like, and so everyone in the bar is like going, is that you? Is that you? Oh, we need to know more about what you do. And it was like the biggest marketing blitz that he had ever had. And it was like, hey, look at him. That's him sitting over there. Look, you know, and it was like,
celebrity.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and here, what occurs to me that you've done is harness the power of the tools that are available to us today to get out there and make our impact, to be women and men making history. Never before in our history has it been as easy to get your message out there. And these are messages for good, my friends. So definitely watch the shows. I've been watching them. We're talking about us having a show on the channel, which I'm very excited about, and making it easy for more people to get out there.
Yeah, that's the target, is to get as many of us out there as fast as possible so we can help and support, because people are looking for you. You know, your tribe, your people, your audience, like they're like attracts like. So it doesn't matter where you are in your business, your message is, you know, wanted. People want to know what you're doing. So you don't have to be like super, you know, doctor, PhD kind of a thing. Like wherever you are, there are people that resonate with you and will be able to hear your message and really are truly looking to connect with you because you have what they need, what they're looking for.
That's right.
And not just in our backyard anymore.
All right. So do me a favor, 2 things. Number 1, tell us about a woman in history who was influential and had an impact in your life.
Yeah, so this would be my grandmother. My grandmother was a woman who, you know, had always wanted to go to college, but she couldn't. Her parents came over from Italy and they landed in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and my grandmother was born. So she was born in February during this horrific snowstorm in 1914. So back then, the doctors came to the home to do the birthing process. So she was born at home. Well, she wasn't the only little girl born during that storm. So when the roads cleared and he went to the town hall to submit the birth certificates to the county town hall, whatever it is there, he couldn't remember the names of the kids. So he just arbitrarily made up these like random names for these 2 girls. And he had like, wasn't sure like what day they were born or what time or anything. And it's been the running joke that the doctor was like, you know,
something, yeah. He was warming up with something.
Yeah. Her name from her parents was Democracia. And they were so grateful to be here in the United States that they named their daughter, their first child, Demokracia for democracy. And she was actually put in the system as Julia Teresa. So we don't actually know how that happened. But she was Demokracia, and she did not like that name at all when she was going to school, so she had it shortened to Dema. Well, she meets this man that she falls in love with, and that's my grandfather. And his name was Amerigo, and Amerigo in Italian is America. So literally,
wow.
It was America marries democracy.
Wow, that's cool.
We can't make this stuff up, right? So this is my history. So, you know, back then it was the Depression, and, you know, women didn't work, they were stay at home, and it was conserve lack. And so when he passed away, she ended up going back to college. So she graduated from college with her BA, with her bachelor's degree, from the same university that 3 of her grandchildren were also in.
Oh,
and
wow.
we all went to college together.
Wow.
Literally, she was like a superstar on campus because she would get there on time, even if it was an 8 o'clock class, and she was driving into college, parking, walking. She'd be in the front row, and every professor would acknowledge her. And so she was like this superstar on campus. Well, when the weather got bad, because this was in Massachusetts, she would come and stay in my dorm overnight so she wouldn't have to do the drive. And literally, the minute her feet hit the floor, this was a co-ed floor. So the minute her feet hit the floor, someone would see her in the hallway and they go, "Sue's grandmother's here, put your stuff away." So everybody darting back to their rooms to put like their pot and their weed and their drugs and their alcohol, like all the way in the drawers. And my grandmother would just like lightly come down the hall. She would have baked cookies for like the whole floor, so everybody would hang out. And these 2 guys were taking Italian as their language, so she would go in and she would tutor them. And you know, literally, you would hear, "Sue's grandmother's going to sleep. Keep it down. Shut your door. Turn that down." It was like,
that's respect. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it was great. And this was in the 80s.
Yeah.
She graduated, and you know, she's just been a pinnacle in our lives, our whole life, because it was like she was breaking, you know, the stereotype of women, you know, her whole life. And I'm just grateful for her.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing about that. Love it. And we are wrapping to a close. Time flies so quickly during these interviews. I want to encourage everybody to go ahead and reach out to Susan, see about doing, watch the shows, and then also connect with her if you'd like to have your own show. And she's also got a gift to support you. So talk about that gift, and the link is going to be right below here.
Yes, so the free gift is 12 free resources and tools that I used when I started with my business, and we still have in place now, that will take you from where you are to where you'd like to be, and you will have way more time to do all the things that you'd like to do in your life when you implement these in place. And they take you from all aspects, from email to media to visibility to SEO, and it's been a huge, just a gift for people to be able to have this, because all of the links are there. It's a description of what it is, and you can log in, and then you can expand on it as well. As your business grows, your membership with them can grow as well. So
nice. So beautiful. Click on the link below, get this 12 tools and resources, nice and easy to get that visibility and exposure for your message as you share about how you're making herstory. So that's great. Oh, thank you for being with us. Thank you for being a visionary in the world, paving the way, much like your grandmother did, paving the way for all of us as visionaries to share our message and contribute to our world, bringing more love and light. I appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you, Nancy, so much. Thank you, everyone. Until I get to meet you in person someday.
Awesome. And that will happen soon, hopefully. So for all of you, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to check your inbox for the next in this amazing series of Women Making Herstory. Grab the link below from Susan, and also check that other button that says join the movement. We want to hear your voice, your story. We got all kinds of great activity happening throughout social media, and we're here so that you get out there, take your message, and make your positive impact in the world. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Bye, Susan.
Bye.